Living abroad has helped me realize initially how American I was. I grew up on the East Coast of the United States, which is quite cosmopolitan, and really thought of myself as an internationally minded cosmopolitan person because I interacted with many people from many national origins. But my first experience living outside of the United States really taught me how context-based my thinking was. Almost everything I said, my first job was in France, and almost anything I said, the students challenged me and said, well, in my country or in my culture, it doesn't work that way. So it really led me to be contingent in my thinking, to think about what are the situational variables that drive the decisions that we make and the kinds of institutions that we create and how they function. Both social institutions, government institutions, but also business institutions and the way we make decisions. And then my next job was in Hong Kong, and although Hong Kong actually in many ways in terms of efficiency and governance at that time, which was before the British handover, was functioning a lot more like the US systems, but the culture was Chinese. So I got an introduction to Chinese festivals and holidays and things that people pay attention to in China when I lived in Hong Kong. So that when I lived in China, when I moved to China, it actually seemed very comfortable and very natural because I was familiar with governance systems, I was familiar with the culture. And one thing I didn't anticipate, but proves to be very true, is that in some ways, China today resembles my childhood in America. I grew up in America, I lived the American dream. So I was a child of factory workers, and my dad was a factory worker, my mom was a secretary. And so I grew up without a lot of money at home, and yet I was first generation college educated, and I had the opportunity to get ahead in life and earn a good income. And I think that's a lot harder in America today, but interestingly, it's actually very, very true in China. So a lot of times I tell people in China that I'm actually reliving my youth in terms of the economic system and the social systems and the way they're developing over time. So it feels very familiar to me. It doesn't actually feel that strange at all.